welcome to Picture Book Chat. I'm Mary Ellen Brax. I am the Public Services Manager for Early Learning.
And I am Sheri Boggs. I'm the Youth Collection Development Librarian for the Spokane County Library District. How are you doing today, Mel?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I have some wonderful picture books to share with you today.
Oh, wonderful. I can't wait.
I know. Well, the first one, Drive the Fire Truck. Does this look like a little handle to you?
It does. This one is so cute.
I love this one. So what looks like a handle, when you open it up, it's like a steering wheel. So this one is really fun. I'm thinking for toddlers, maybe even for preschoolers, but when you open the book, it puts you, the reader, in the driver's seat. So you've got your little handle so you can drive it, but then I love you also have this instrument panel. You've got your gas gauge. I don't know if that's your temperature gauge or your tachometer. You've got your ladder button, your light button, and most importantly, your horn. So you set off and you drive through town on your way to the fire. I love that this book has a diverse cast of characters.
Yes, that was one thing I really loved about it too. In such a small book, it just, I love that they included that.
Definitely. I love like the little CB radio here too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a super fun. Like they thought of all these details, and I love that there's kind of different stuff to look for on each page. Like here you've got different traffic signs. You know, you can talk about what those mean.
Mm-hmm.
You can identify stuff here, like what's that? Oh, there you go, like a taxi cab.
Mm-hmm.
You can start to see the smoke from the fire. And then I love this, you finally get to the fire and they're pulling out the fire hose. You've got your Dalmatian there. And then of course, in the end, you save the day. But I love this. This is from Chronicle Books. They do a lot of great stuff. And there's another one in this series that we bought, and that's Drive the Race Car, which is also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What age group would you use this with?
I would use it with toddlers and preschoolers, because I think just the fact that you can hold it, like, you know, and watch them drive, I think it's really a lot of fun. That perspective of looking through the windshield is so neat, and just how it narrows, you know, as you're looking at it. I thought that was really fun. It would be great for one-on-one reading too, because you could have them in your lap, they can hold it and they can steer the truck as they go along. But it would make a fun one to use with a transportation unit or a fire station unit. I also thought it would make a great baby shower gift or a great birthday present for a toddler who's in trucks. And so I thought this one would be a big hit, definitely. And I love that the text is rhyming too. So that's why I think you could use it nicely with preschoolers too.
And there's sounds they can make, you know, like on the page where it says honk your horn, like you could do the beep beep. The more I look at it, the more I see different things you could do. There's like opportunities to identify colors. Talk about what goes on a fire truck, like, you know, why you might need a ladder or the siren. I think it's just great. And I love that it's not super gender specific. Sometimes with your cars and trucks books, they can be, you know, heavily centered towards boys. And I love that the fire people in this book are men and women.
Yes.
And because, you know,
I like that you said fire people.
Yes. I might have said firemen earlier. It's hard to break those habits. But because the kid is the one sitting at the steering wheel, like, you know, whoever's driving the fire engine is the fire person. So well, you know, plus it gives you a sense of possibility.
Yeah, you said you could use it with other things. So if you use it with the transportation unit, you've got a school bus here, and then you've got another kind of delivery truck there. So I get lots of uses for this one. So, good picture.
So much fun. Actually, I wanted to give a shout out to one of our librarians. It was Rachel who found this book. So that's great. Like here at the district, a lot of the librarians, they have the opportunity to be able to, you know, find books that sometimes I've missed.
Mhm.
And Rachel, she finds some of the best ones.
Yeah.
So it came in and I was just so excited that she mentioned
Yay,
it.
Rachel.
Yay! Yay, SCLD librarians.
Yes.
Okay, so my
Great.
next one, we're doing this just before Valentine's Day here in the office. This will probably air in March, but we're going to do Slug in Love. I'm trying to get the glare off of that.
This is such a fun one too. I just thought it was just a cute story, you know.
Yeah, I love the rhyming. You start out
Mhm.
with Doug, who's a slug in need of a hug. I love all this white space. I love how big the pictures are. Like you can
Yeah.
see what's happening across the room.
Mhm.
You know, so of course nobody wants to hug him because he's, let me find the page. He's all these terrible things. He's
Yeah.
grimy, slippy, squelchy, slimy, icky, mucky, yucky, sticky. So vocabulary wise, that's really fun.
Yes.
And he keeps going on until he meets a snail named Gail. I think this picture is hilarious.
Yeah.
I love her little cat eye glasses, of course. I love her little red lipstick and her leopard print.
And her expression. I mean, he did a great job with the expressions on the insects, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. The illustrator is Nadia Shireen. I think that's how you say her name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She did a really nice job. So.
Yeah. It's super fun. And I love that it's kind of realistic about relationships because, of course, he meets Gail and she also is grimy, slippy, squelchy, slimy, icky, mucky, yucky, and sticky. And he's just, you know, happily ever after. They're having popcorn, they're going to movies, they're visiting places, they're in Paris. And he's wondering to himself, a snail like Gail, it cannot fail. And I love her expression. It just says everything. Yeah. Like he's kind of smiling and she's like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So this doesn't work out. You see them kind of breaking up here. But luckily for Doug, there are all sorts of other creatures that rhyme with slug, including a bug. So he does get his happy ending. He and his little boyfriend fall in love.
Yeah.
So yeah, this, I love the bright colors. I love the space. Great story. What did you think of this one, Mary Ellen?
I thought it was a really cute story, and it has a nice pace to it with the rhyming and everything. So I thought you could definitely use it with toddlers too. They might not get the whole nuance of it, but you can get some great great vocabulary in here too. She is grimy, slippy, squelchy, shiny. She is icky, mucky, yucky, sticky. So, I mean, just, you know, just some great, and I really enjoyed the illustrations too. So like you said, there's a lot of space for the words, but then the pictures are still nice and bright and eye-catching, I thought too. So yeah, I thought this would be great for toddlers and for preschoolers. You could use it with a bug. You know, if you're a teacher, you can use it with a bug unit. That would be kind of fun. And yeah, or you could use it for an outdoor unit, nature unit. So yeah, I could see a lot of different uses for this one. You can even have them make their own paper creatures, you know, their own insects. And what's your favorite bug in the story? And embrace those bugs. Yes.
Talk about the difference between, you know, mollusks and insects.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we live together?
Yes.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I really like that one.
Yeah. What's the upper limit on this, do you think, age-wise?
I think preschoolers would still like it, you know, because of the rhyming, because of the subject matter. So I think, yeah, toddlers and preschoolers, you could definitely read it. And you might, like kindergartners might still like it too. So I could see it working pretty well in a kindergarten, first grade classroom too. If you just wanted a fun rhyming story to read, this would be a good one for that too.
Yeah. This seems like a good after recess one, like it's short, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's not so long,
Yeah.
it's completely going to lose them, but it kind of
Yeah, right.
gets you focused
Definitely.
again.
Yeah, definitely. Bring everybody back together.
I know. So that was Slug in Love. My
Yes.
next one, this one's going to be hard to talk about without getting hungry, because
Yes.
this is Dumpling Day. Did you
And
know, Mary Ellen, and you probably do, how many different kinds of dumplings there are around the world?
I didn't know that.
There's
So
so many.
there are.
Every culture, it seems, has their version of a tasty little carbohydrate around some kind of either sweet or protein rich middle.
Yeah.
I love, first of all, the end papers.
Yes.
You've got all your kitchen implements.
I love that.
As the story starts, you find out there's a dumpling party in town. So each of these families is making their favorite cultural kind of dumpling. So we start out with samosas. And this is another rhyming one that point towards the sky. Dee Dee is bringing chutney to try. So not only do you have your dumpling, you've got the side that goes with it. Yeah. So on each each left-hand page, you introduce like a new adult helper and the dumpling. And then on this side, you get a little math activity where you're adding up each kind of dumpling as we go through the story. So we start with one little dumpling on our, where did it go? Yeah, one little dumpling on our plate now. When you turn the page, it's one dumpling before, then we add one more. How many dumplings now? Yeah. And I like that it doesn't really spell out how many, it's just this little number here. So maybe make your kids guess and so on. So you've got your sweet dumplings. In the United States, we've got our apple dumplings. There's a stuffed woogok. Gorgor always fries them best. So I love that you get these different terms for different relatives in the family. So as you're going through it, you can try to guess, who do you think Gorgor is? Do you think it's like a mom or a grandma or an uncle? You can try to guess. And in the end, they do tell you what each one is. There's things like fufu balls that are hard to chew. So you have to eat them with a delicious stew. You've got your gyoza. So I love that these families are diverse, not just culturally, but in their, gender makeup or, number of kids. Like there's, again, a lot of diversity in here. It's fun to see the whole family cooking the dumplings together. Yeah. And then, of course, my very favorite part, like they have their picnic in the park and everybody gets to share in all these wonderful dumplings, which you can try to name if you remember what they were from earlier in the book. Yeah. But then after that, the recipes, there's a recipe for every single dumpling in the book. Right. So you can try the ravioli and the tamales and the samosas and the woogok and the barekas. Those are from Israel. There's a great educational aspect to this too, where I love on this page, there's a map of the world. And so it shows you the country that the dumplings come from. And then you've got your little list here that tells you what the name, what family member the names that we learned earlier are. Yeah. So you find out that the Gorgor is Cantonese for older brother. Yeah. Isn't that great? Yeah. I love this. Yeah. Tell me what you thought about this one. I love this. And I love the activity pages at the end. And I love that, there's the words are by, the art's by, and then the recipes are by it's all different people. So they tell you what dumplings are, recipe tips, so that you can use with the recipes. Yeah. So I really thought this was really fun. You could use this all the way up into, I don't know, second, third grade too, but I can see it, you really be using it for preschool. I think it's a great gift book for a family, especially for a family that maybe likes to cook together. And if you are in a school that has some cooking facilities, I mean, you could extend this out
for a couple months making a different dumpling every week or something. So I think it'd be great for a food unit. I love that they were able to pack in all sorts of different cultural things in addition to the math, and math and cooking go along great. So yeah, I thought this was great. I kind of want to buy it.
I do too.
and start giving it away as gifts. So
I want to try some of these recipes.
yeah,
Like, I wouldn't mind making a different kind of dumpling every week.
yeah, definitely. I love dumplings. So, and there were some I hadn't heard of before. And there were some that I've heard of but haven't had a chance to try or make. So yeah, I was impressed. So love to try out some of these recipes. So
yeah, this is another one of those books, when we talk about what makes a good picture book, like the ones that are kind of doing a lot of different things. Like this one's got language, it's got a rhyming component, it's got the adding. I just I think it's such a great thing. This one's from Barefoot Books, and they do a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I could see using it for like a community event too, so I mean, I think there's lots of different uses for this book, and it would, I think a lot of families would enjoy getting it as a gift too.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of it came out about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, All Are Welcome Here, which is that one, like it takes place in a preschool and you kind of go through the day, and then they all share a meal that night with their families, and everybody brings their contribution. Like, I feel like those two paired could be really fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
How young would you go with this?
How young? Probably preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking so too.
Just because of the counting and stuff, you might have a couple of toddlers that would enjoy it. I mean, because it's not too long. But I would definitely say it's geared more towards preschool and up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, yum.
I know.
Need to put this one away.
Now I want dumplings.
I know. Yeah, so good.
Yes.
We're ready for our last book.
Yes.
This is Amos McGee, Misses the Bus. So of course, this is the sequel to the 2011 Caldecott winner, A Sick Day for Amos McGee. It's by a husband and wife team. Philip C. Stead does the text, and it's illustrated by Erin E. Stead. And I love these books. When I saw the first book, I kind of couldn't wrap. It was one of those things like where they announced the Caldecott, and I was kind of like, huh, and because it's not a big showy, like sometimes the book that wins the Caldecott, which is the award for illustration in the United States, like sometimes they're these gorgeous showy things, like the stuff that David Weisner does. I always think of, but the more time I spend with this, like I really appreciate Erin Stead's illustration style. Like she uses kind of this limited palette, and there's a lot of white space. It's kind of a gentle story, but when you look closer at it, when you look at the animals in this book and her pencil work, like she's able to convey so much expression
and the
on the faces of the characters. And there's kind of an empathy and a sensitivity there that is just really lovely. And it might not be a great book for, like sharing in a story time. I don't know if those illustrations would work with a big group. But it's just a wonderful story. I'll give you a quick synopsis. Like Amos McGee, the zookeeper, is so excited the night before he goes to work because he's going to take his animals at the zoo on an outing. And because he couldn't sleep, he wakes up late. He runs to get the bus. He misses it. And he ends up leaving behind his lunch and his hat. So I just love, like, there's so much white space here. And like really the only things with color are Amos, McGee, and the tree and his left behind hat, you know, and maybe this tiny canary, you know, on the top of his umbrella. And so you just kind of have this feeling of like, I don't know, like loneliness or maybe even disappointment. But he gets to work, and part of his job, you know, he's got to clean out their enclosures, and he's got to wash the animals and make sure everybody's fed. So he's going about doing that. And as he's doing it, he's apologizing because they can't go on the outing that they planned. And he sits down, and he's so tired that he falls asleep. And so I love this part. The animals talk about how hard he works every day to take care of them. And they're just like, oh, poor thing, he's like worn himself out. And so they finish his chores.
Yeah, I love
like,
that.
How lovely is that? So they do all of that just in time for them to be able to actually catch the last bus and go on their outing that they planned. And I love that while the rest of the animals in this story are, you know, cleaning up the zoo and making sure everybody gets fed, the tortoise in the meantime is slowly making his way back to Amos's house to retrieve his lunch and his hat for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's got everything, but there's great little details in this. Like I love the rhino making sure everybody gets fed. He's got all these bagels on his horn, like for the birds to peck off.
Yeah,
it's super sweet. And I just like, I love, it's a story about, you know, like empathy and friendship.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so great. What did you think of this one, Mary Ellen?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
I love the detail of the drawing. I think it's better for a small group or one-on-one because some of the detail is small. But I do think that it's just beautiful, and I just love the fold-out page.
oh
here.
I'm glad you're showing that.
Here too. So we're, oh good, he's found my hat. But you know, it's such a good one to use, even just starting a unit on animals or zoos. But I also really love it for just that caring and helping for each other too. So yeah, the color scheme of it is just so soothing and peaceful. And once I really looked at the detail work in it, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
It's
kind of an old-fashioned style. Like it looks like an older kind of book than it is. It reminds me of, you know, even some of the Maurice Sendak stuff you used to see like in the 70s, you know, with just a little bit of color and lots of you know, pencil sketching.
And just like, it seems like, you know, it's an older gentleman who's the zookeeper too, which I like that, you're seeing that. So, and the fact that he was catching the bus to go to work is, you know, is something that not all kids see too. That, you know, some people do take the bus to go to work. And, you know, if you're out in the rural areas, you know, you're driving in, but, you know, in the city, you may be taking a bus. So that's nice to see that. So, yeah, I hadn't seen this one yet. So I was just like, oh, and of course I love anything with the animals. And there's the little mouse here, just the detail of the little mouse on his little lunchbox as he's leaving the house here.
Yeah.
Just adorable. So really great. Just the expressions on the faces, on Amos's face and the animals' faces.
Just even the little flowers on his tote bag. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah. And
like he's just this wonderful, gentle figure.
And the little penguin with his head on the table. I mean, so yeah, no, I really enjoyed that one. And I think a lot of kiddos would enjoy it too, with the animals and the fact that the animals help him out and do his work for him. And then they're ready to go, and they end with the day at the beach. So I love that. So yeah, there they all are sitting at the beach.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. just, yeah, fun. A
Mhm.
fun story. So a good one to end with. So
Yeah. I
yeah, so,
think for kids, you can talk even about like, what are all the different jobs you think you'd need to do at the zoo to keep it
oh yeah.
going? It's like there's the cleaning, there's feeding
Hmm.
everybody, there's
Hmm.
picking up litter. There's all sorts of work
Yeah.
that has to be
Yeah.
done.
Bathing the animals. Some of them need to be washed down. And what do you need to do to take care of the animals? What do you think you would need to take care of the different animals? How is taking care of the penguin different than taking care of the turtle
Mhm.
or the elephant? So yeah, a lot you could do with that and a lot you could talk about in it. And I think that's the thing, a lot of open-ended questions you could ask.
Mhm.
You know, what do you think? Or how would you do that? Or how do you think they're feeling? Or how do you think Amos is feeling? So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot to go into that one. So great story.
I know,
Yes.
I love that one.
So, well, thank you, Sheri. Thanks for
You're
another great
welcome, Mary Ellen.
chat.
Always fun.
And so, yes, thank you for joining us today and watching this. I think we had a nice set of books today and hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget, you can always put them on hold and then check them out. We're still doing curbside too. So if you're in a hurry and you just need to pick up your books, and they will bring them out to the car if you've got them on hold and they're waiting for you. So yeah, don't forget that we have that option too. So as always, it's been fun and a pleasure, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.